Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and we have some classic vintage Call of Duty drama to sink our teeth into today after the Censor versus Clayster thing back at the Major 3 qualifiers. We've now got a crazy situation where a former teammate of both players, and actually current teammate of Clayster, is getting accused of potentially cheating based on performances online compared to LAN. Doug then comes back in the replies, things get rather heated, we're gonna dive into it today. Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below, hit the like button if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Really helps the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Here goes Doug with the Vanguard MP40. Get some nice clips. I actually just noticed here that kind of spice emoji on the bottom right hand side. They're taking notes, and honestly you love to see it. Now first of all, here from the Boston Bridge, this is what seemingly is going to be, well obviously very clearly actually, the venue for the Challengers LAN. Effectively, I believe alongside the final week of Major 4 qualifiers, 1 week before the actual Major begins, the Boston LAN for the Challenger side is going to be going on here. Now this honestly looks really good. I do wonder if this is the type of place that they probably wanted to have for, let's say, the Pro-Am Classic, because as it turned out, the Pro-Am Classic was in a venue that's pretty sure it was like a second or third choice or whatever, where they wanted to do it, couldn't really work out for them. We've got Fortnite on the main screen right here, but look how good this venue looks. We've got the rigs on the left-hand side, the racing rigs, like, of course, all the actual setups for the games themselves. This, I guess, might be where some of the competitors are going to be for the kind of, Challengers action. Not really sure how big this place is or how it's exactly going to work, but, I mean, yeah, it looks really cool, all things considered, to be honest. This is where seemingly, and I guess they have some sort of a main stage as well, where they can have the crucial matches being played. So that's exciting stuff. Thought it was a great looking venue actually that Boston are going to put on offer effectively for the Challenger side, and we are going to see some players back in action here, the likes of Clayster, the likes of Censor. They'll be back here hopefully to play each other once again, because we had a great time when they played each other, of course, back at, Major 3, alongside, of course, the main stuff that was going on there. Wanted to mention this real quick actually, just because I talked about it right at the end of yesterday's first video, so some of you guys might have missed it. Thought I'd mention it again, because there's been rumours, or at least like hints from some of the guys at Esports Engine and the like, and even Merc from the kind of the CDL side, that okay, champs in London, is it a possibility, is it ever going to happen? I wouldn't be surprised if it happens at some point or another, but the CDL and really just Esports in general have some obsession with doing the World Championship in Los Angeles. That's what Crone kind of reckons here. He says a couple of days ago now, the champs is going to be in LA this year. There was a rumor a little bit ago that it was going to be in Las Vegas, but it seems like LA once again is going to be the destination. It was there last year, it's probably there the year before. Like, I don't know how many years in a row it's been in LA, but probably many years at this point, not really sure, but I guess, 2020 was online, so it doesn't really count that year. Most of the time it's in Los Angeles. They're going to do it there again. Not sure whether they're going to do it or whatever, but or whether they're going to get some of the LA teams to actually host it or help with the hosting. Who knows what'll happen to that point? Maybe they've got a good offer from one of those organizations at the stadiums they can use or whatever. I'm sure we're going to get some updates on this soon, but yeah, Las Vegas apparently not going to be the case. Probably going to be in Los Angeles again. We can only hope that maybe next year it comes to London or whatever. That'll be an absolutely banger event. There is no doubt about it. This just to mention as well from aBeZy and such. I thought this is cool just to talk about, because, I mean, first of all, they've got this entertainment series called Gas or Ass, where they're going to be reviewing people's Warzone loadouts and saying if they're actually good or not. But it's good to see kind of former pro players kind of succeeding, or at least, doing stuff on the content side, right? Because I think it's generally a very interesting topic that doesn't get talked about that much, or maybe it does get talked about a fair bit, right? But like, you're a player and then you retire, or like you don't get a spot anymore in the league, and what do you do next, right? Because content obviously is a direction that players can go in, that some have had success in, but of course, others kind of struggle, right, and have a difficult time finding exactly what they want to do, and like, do they get a regular job, and all this kind of questions, which is pretty difficult for players, especially that haven't been one of the top of their powers. Of course, aBeZy double world champion, many event wins between these two guys, so good to see they're succeeding and coming together a project like this. I thought it was good to support as well. So let's dive into this whole Censor and Clayster stuff then. So you guys might well remember this from alongside the regular pro circuit stuff at the Major. There was of course also the Challengers event going on. Look at Doug right here in the foreground. So anyway, this is when Doug and co take down Clayster. Pretty sure this was to advance to maybe top 8 or top 12. They then took down the former Stallions roster in the next round, I believe, to secure top 6, and then Clayster and co made a losers bracket run to also finish the tournament top 6. But this is when I believe this is, I guess it's, you can see Berlin here on the screen. This is a 3-1 on the Berlin control, right? But I'm pretty sure they won maybe a Bacage Search and Destroy before this. And the especially spicy thing about this is that effectively Doug's team was Clayster's team right here, but he effectively got it stolen away from him when Clayster came down to Challengers, and they said, okay, we want to play with Clay instead of you. And then, as Censor's letting them know, let's just say. Now, one of the guys on this side of the stage was Johnny, and that's kind of where things get rather spicy. So this happens back on the 4th of May, when he effectively got his team stolen from him. They said, okay, the guys want to play with Clayster, Ghosty, Johnny, and of course, Fellow himself went to go and play alongside Clayster. Doug had to find a new team, then beat them at the kind of Challengers event. Really spicy stuff, of course, at the end of the day. Now, this is where it kind of takes a more modern twist in it, as Clayster says last night. Guess that gamer. Just an FYI, based on Johnny's online versus LAN performance, we will be requesting a monitor cam and a reset from him. And of course, Clayster, okay, what? This is just the weirdest stuff. Not my decision entirely, and I don't mind coming back to match him. So first of all, I think Aches has a great take on this, really. The fact that, like, this might be the most disrespectful way I've ever seen someone called an onliner, right? That's the thing. They're basically saying, look, Johnny, this guy was so good online for so many months, and now he went to LAN and, like, didn't really do too well in the LAN environment, right? And now, effectively, this team that's kind of talking to Clayster is implying that this guy, must be doing something dodgy online, must be, cheating or wall hacking or something. We just want to make sure nothing dodgy is going on. But effectively, when this is requested, it's, to some degree, it's a cheating accusation, right? It's like, okay, this guy's a bit dodgy. He went to LAN, it didn't really show up. Online, he's been so good. Like, let's just see if there's anything dodgy going on here, right? So, to some degree, this is a cheating accusation when you say, okay, let's have a monitor cam for this particular guy. Now, as X is saying, look, at the end of the day, he's basically saying, look, you're so bad on LAN, such an onliner, that, we want to have a monitor cam for you, right? So, kind of a disrespectful way to look at it from that perspective. But Johnny was actually a player in kind of key discussions early on in the season, because pretty sure when New York were initially going to make their roster change, and we kind of heard the rumors that they wanted to get rid of Neptune, and Royalty eventually came in, Johnny was one of the players in discussion at that time to actually be an SMG for that team. And maybe they talked to him, maybe they didn't, not really sure, but he was at least one of the SMG players in the Challenger side that was rumored to be linked to New York, because there wasn't that many SMG players going in the Challenger side, to be honest. Then the flank come back and say, okay, could it be Doug Censor Responds? Because it kind of reads like Doug could be related to this, and turns out that's pretty much exactly what was going on. Now, just to mention it real quick, Johnny's kind of online versus LAN performances. Of course, they won at cup number 11 with Clay, fellow Johnny and Spart. They went to LAN, then got top 6, lost to Doug's team. That's why people are probably saying, okay, maybe this Johnny guy was so good online. Is he really all that on LAN? Let's just make sure nothing dodgy is going on right here. Now, Doug comes back in the replies, as you might well expect. This was not me, so saying, okay, no, this wasn't me tweeting this, like maybe one of my teammates or whatever, but I also second this statement, right? I agree, he should be monitored having all this type of stuff, but Doug's like, okay, it's not me particularly. And I thought this is kind of funny, really, just before the drama kind of kicked off. I mean, we were keeping it low-key, but if his own team wants to blast it out to Twitter, then I don't really care. So to Clayster, like, look, you've effectively exposed this to the timeline, so, whatever, it's on you, effectively. We try to keep this on the down low, we weren't trying to tell anyone about it, then Clay tweets it out, and then all this stuff, of course, kicks off as a result. So here we go, then. So Johnny comes back in the replies here to Doug Censor Martin, of course, that former teammates, right? Like, I'm probably one of the guys that he was pointing to and shouting across the stage after their victory up against this team back at Major 3. Doug, don't say that, because you were legitimately begging me to play on your team for months, and I'm mad that I didn't want to. You guys got lucky in a best of 3 5-5 Bacage S&D when I was playing with the wrong aim assist settings, but either way, good luck this weekend. So, like, first of all, there's quite a lot to unpack here, really. The whole wrong aim assist settings idea, I guess they were playing each other on a Bacage S&D, and Johnny said he has the wrong aim assist settings on, so interesting excuse, to be honest, but I guess he's kind of explaining away Doug's victory in that sense, but kind of revealing that Doug wanted to play with this guy, like Johnny, obviously a bit of drama between the two of them. Johnny's a young guy anyway, you're expecting a bit of beef, honestly, at this stage in their career, but I thought, obviously it continues it in a funny way anyway. Clayster's like, Jesus, son, he's absolutely going for the neck here, right? So Clay was kind of getting in on the fun as well, and who can really blame him? Now, look, Doug actually comes back and says, look, anything you say to me is void till you pay me my $550. So Doug had apparently lent him $550 for whatever reason, not sure that's exactly made clear, but and then Clay comes back and actually kind of defends his current teammate Johnny, says, you, a millionaire, are telling Johnny, a high schooler, to pay you $550 you gave to him, kind of messed up, bro. And then Doug comes back, and I think it's fair enough from Doug's side, really. He's like, debt is debt, bro. If you're going to borrow money from me, then, you better be expected to pay it back, otherwise you're not going to learn any life lessons. It takes a lot for me to tell someone to pay me back. If you know me, you know that I'm not stingy. And then Clay comes back and says, okay, fair enough, the way Ronald, I'm guessing Ronald is either like a nickname for Johnny or something, because Johnny's like real name, I'm pretty sure isn't Johnny, so kind of classic stuff from Godsey, really, but he told me that it wasn't expected to be paid back, at least from his perspective. I don't know, you guys handle it, bro. And then Doug actually goes on to say the following, and on top of the $550, dude had me expedite him a controller for $150 and didn't even tell me thank you. Now, certainly Johnny doesn't agree with this one, but Spart's mother, of course, Spart is currently on the team with Johnny, and Clayster says, I bet he's very, very thankful, and then Doug says, he's thankful just to take all the money from me and act like he deserves the world. So Doug's not happy with this Johnny guy at all, and even Johnny actually comes back and says, I did tell you thank you for that one. Now, I understand how big of a manipulator you really are, but you would never have said any of this if I had stayed or joined your team with the paragraphs you sent me talking trash on my teammates just to get me to join. So, this is pretty much where it comes to a close. Classic Call of Duty, vintage stuff, as I just pointed out. Here we go. We've got Doug versus Clayster. That's one element of it. Doug versus kind of like challenger players, former teammates, drama going on like that. Johnny calling Doug a manipulator. It's absolutely just superb stuff. And maybe this is, is an element of truth to this, right? If Johnny was still on Doug's team, I'm sure he probably wouldn't be doing this, but at the same time, you wouldn't really expect him to, right? And of course, there's a whole cheating accusations that back the whole thing up at the end of the day. So, in tweeting your thoughts thoughts in the comment section below on this one. I wonder if anything more will come of this, right? Because if the monitor cam comes through, like, I haven't seen any dodgy clips or anything from Johnny, and I'm sure Clayster's kind of surprised that I am particularly interested in checking this guy out if he is dodgy at all. But maybe Doug's sitting there thinking, okay, this guy's getting a bit defensive on Twitter, maybe there's something dodgy going on here, right? So I suppose we'll see how it goes. But yeah, the exciting thing about this really is that it just exacerbates a little bit of the drama between Clayster and Censor that had been there for quite some time, and of course was certainly the case before the event in Major 3 at Toronto. And you got to wonder whether this will be the same thing again at the Major 4 Challengers event effectively, which is going on in Boston as we looked at a few minutes ago. Doug's sitting in form for this elite qualifier. Like, I'm pretty sure that's going on this weekend, so exciting stuff to see how that goes, because pretty sure Doug hasn't really been in the elite so far. It's pretty tough to qualify for it, and he reckons his current team with a bit more practice is going to be in a decent position to try and do that. So we'll see how that one goes. These guys could of course match up not just online but also on LAN itself. So wow, Doug's absolutely fine right here. Bloody hell, that guy got absolutely smokered. And it's not just the challenger side but also the reigning champion Seattle side will be back in business sooner rather than later in the actual Major 4 qualifiers in a couple of weeks time. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit on the like button, tell us your YouTube gods this is a good video, and I was like you should see it as well, and hope grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you guys as always, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.
Actually, no, you might be right.
Hey, bro, there's not one human where I'm like, damn, your head is like little, like, you know?
And you guys went deep.
Oh, Dave Pat. See, that's what hey, and respectfully to Dave Patty, he looks a little weird. You know? Like, bro, I feel like if you have, like, bro, if you have a small head, like, look. Bro, what you mean, like, bro?
I have your help. I have your push. I have your push. I got you.
I'm dead in the back.
Front.
Back triple.
I'm one shot in time. I'm so good.
Get
out there. Alright, perfect. Yeah, keep holding this, Sean. Sean, I'll get you left. I have an AR. I'm through.
They're definitely already through.
You were so ass. Oh my god!
Okay, I have the right push.